Every Saturday, the cameras knew exactly where to look. The winning touchdown, the superstar quarterback, the head coach, the roaring crowd. They never stayed to film what happened next. When the stadium emptied, the players quietly walked back to their dorm rooms, while everyone else counted the money. Coaches, television networks, universities, everyone, except the athletes. For decades, America accepted it. Most people believed it was completely legal. It wasn't. One former college football player decided to ask a question. Nobody wanted to answer. His name was Shawne Alston. He wasn't a superstar. He wasn't a lawyer. He wasn't trying to change college sports. He simply wanted to understand one thing. If everyone else was making money, why couldn't the players? That question would eventually reach the highest court in the United States. And the answer changed college sports forever. Most people would have moved on. Football ends, life begins. That's how it's supposed to work. And for Shawne Alston, that's exactly what happened. His playing days were over. The stadiums disappeared. The television cameras found new stars. He earned his MBA, started building a career, and eventually became a juvenile probation officer in Virginia. Every morning, he walked into the same office. Case files, phone calls, meetings. Kids who needed someone to believe in them. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't national television, but it mattered from the outside. It looked like football was just another chapter in his past. But every fall, something reminded him that the story wasn't over. Every fall, college football came back. New season, new stars, new headlines. But the business looked exactly the same. Bigger television deals, bigger stadiums, bigger coaching contracts. Every year, the numbers kept growing. Shawne watched, just like everyone else. At first, he didn't think much about it. Football was part of his past, until one thought refused to leave him alone. He remembered the hours, the practices, the travel, the pressure, the sold-out stadiums. He remembered helping create the product that millions of people paid to watch. And yet, the people creating the game had been treated differently from everyone around them. That wasn't jealousy. It wasn't regret. It was confusion. Because one question kept getting louder. If coaches could negotiate contracts, if television companies could negotiate contracts, if universities could negotiate contracts, why were the athletes the only people who never had that choice? Shawne wasn't looking for a headline. He was looking for an answer. And the deeper he looked, the more one possibility began to emerge. Maybe this wasn't just unfair. Maybe it wasn't legal. Asking a question is easy. Challenging the answer is something else entirely, because Shawne Alston wasn't questioning a single coach. He wasn't questioning one university. He was questioning the entire system that college sports had been built on for generations. Think about that for a second. One former player, one ordinary job, no political power, no billion-dollar legal team, standing across from one of the most influential organizations in American sports. On paper, the outcome looked obvious. The NCAA had money, lawyers, influence, more than a century of history defending the same rule. Shawne had one question, but sometimes history changes because one person refuses to stop asking it. The case was officially underway. Almost nobody expected what would happen next. For years, the NCAA defended itself with the same argument: paying college athletes would destroy amateur sports. That argument had survived challenge after challenge. It sounded reasonable until someone asked a different question. Not, is it fair? But, is it legal? Those are two very different questions, because something can feel normal for 100 years and still violate the law. Shawne's legal team wasn't trying to rewrite college sports. They were trying to prove that the NCAA couldn't simply make rules that limited competition if those rules broke federal law. Suddenly, this wasn't just a sports debate. It became a courtroom battle. And for the first time, the NCAA wasn't defending tradition. It was defending whether that tradition could legally survive. For decades, the NCAA had lived with one assumption: its rules would always survive. Every challenge had come and gone. The system remained standing. This case felt different because for the first time, the question wasn't being asked in a television studio. It wasn't being debated on sports radio. It was being examined inside a courtroom. Every argument, every document, every decision would now be measured against the law. And that changed everything. Suddenly, the NCAA had to defend something it had always assumed never needed defending. Not its reputation, not its championships, its rules. Because if those rules failed in court, the foundation of college sports could begin to crack. For the first time, the impossible didn't seem impossible anymore. June 21st, 2021. After months of arguments, briefs, and hearings, the answer finally arrived. The Supreme Court ruled against the NCAA, not 5-4, not 6-3, 9-0. Every justice reached the same conclusion. The NCAA's restrictions could not stand under the law. For over a century, the rules had survived because people accepted them. Now, they had to survive because the law allowed them. And they couldn't. In one decision, the legal foundation of amateurism had been shaken. The probation officer nobody expected had won. It would be easy to end the story here. One man challenged the system. The system lost. Roll the credits. But that's not what happened, because the Supreme Court didn't simply decide. One lawsuit, it changed the conversation around college sports almost overnight. The impossible became possible. Players began signing endorsement deals. Universities entered a new era. The rules kept changing. The business kept growing. The old model was gone. Shawne Alston didn't create every change that followed, but his case forced college sports to confront questions it could no longer avoid. History usually remembers championships, records, dynasties, but sometimes history changes because one ordinary person refuses to stop asking one ordinary question. Shawne Alston didn't set out to rewrite college sports. He simply asked whether the rules were actually legal. The Supreme Court answered. College sports is still living with that answer because every system eventually changes. The difficult part is living with what comes next.